Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Kayla, and today we'll be touring my very own island, which is named Sunbeam. As you can see, we're visiting via Dream address, so we're starting in resident services. And the first thing we're going to do is take a look at the few custom designs I've uploaded with this video. Now that we're in, you can see I've got a few things here, including a custom pool coat I made, a couple slightly different versions of the flag I used, some leaded glass, and some basic patterns. And with that, we'll actually start looking at the island tour here. Coming off resident services, we've crossed this little bridge and water area, and you can see right away we have the airport. So it's actually pretty close on this island, so I used terraforming water and waterfalls and cliffs to create a little bit of separation and some interest to get from one area to the other. Right outside the airport, we have a little landing space with a bench and a suitcase and a little park lot to make it look like we are welcoming any visitors who might come here to Sunbeam. So as we move forward with the tour, I'll give you a little more background. Sunbeam is the first island I made, and it's actually the first time I've ever played Animal Crossing. I've never played before Animal Crossing New Horizons. So after a few months of learning gameplay and building up skills and whatnot, I finally started to really hone in on the style of this island, which is basically just kind of things that I like. It turned out to be pretty natural. In some places it's pretty minimal. There's lots of open space, green touches, simplicity. It also has feelings of, I'd say, elegance and a little bit of cottagecore as well, so just a really neutral island. And at this point I'm realizing I had not shown you the map yet, so we're going to look quick. There's two residents on this island, myself and Connor. You can see there's quite a bit of terraforming with cliff sides, waterways. You can see a little island in the middle, lots of little dotted paths bringing you all around the island. And you can see most of my villagers live up inside this little neighborhood, either in the top left quadrant. So in the tour, you can see we passed Able Sisters a little bit back, and across the riverway here we have Nook's Cranny. I really like how the simple entrance to this terraformed area turned out, and as you can see, this is a bit of a hidden pathway I have here. Nestled amongst the cliffs, we have this little sunken waterfall moment with a little island in the middle where you can stop and meet a friend, have a coffee, whatnot. And if we hop back and continue on, we're brought to this area of the island where we have the pool. I wanted this pool to look very simple and elegant, almost like something you'd find at a fancy vacation home somewhere in Europe. It's kind of nestled between the cliffside, and on the right side is the actual beach of the sea, so this is just a nice place to relax. Moving down onto the beach, as we will in a second here, you can see in the back here there's a nice little painting area right on the rocks. And a little spot to sit by the ocean and look out at the water. We're going to backtrack a little bit here to look at some other areas of the beach in this area of the island. Right here we have a little seaside restaurant, so this is kind of like the front desk hostess stand. And then moving back, you can see we have a very elegant, nice restaurant right on the beach. And moving along here is where we have the pier. This is a nice little sweet spot to sit down with your favorite book and read out on the water. You'll see on my island there are lots and lots of books, lots of little nooks and places to sit down and read and relax. Once again, another place to read in a nice little hammock area. And here we have sort of a beachside spa, so there's loungers to lay out on, a cypress hot tub to soak in, and a little sink and carafe. Moving backwards over the bridge, the last little beach spot on this side of the island is this little fire pit area where you can sit at night on the beach blanket and enjoy some music with friends. And you can see we're back at the entrance. Try a little first-person camera here to enter this next part of the island. So this pathway leads us to the little island. And here is my other avatar, forever living in this dream address. And she happens to be on one of my favorite parts of the island. I've got a mini island within the island, and of course, there is a blanket, pillows, and plenty of books to read. So nestled in between these two bridges is just this nice little sweet spot. And then if you hop over these rocks here, you get to the campground area, which is nice and simple, just tucked away back in this little terraformed nook here. Hopping back over the bridge, we can take in this little waterfall moment. And we have yet another comfy little area to sit and read. I will note I made this island before the 2.0 update came out, so you won't see any of the items or functionality from that. Moving forward, we are coming to the main house. And we have this nice little double staircase that kind of leads right up to the main house, which is my character's house. So we'll go inside and take a look. Definitely all the rooms in this house are fashioned after pretty traditional rooms, and they are all something that I would love to have in my dream house. both in functionality and style. The main room is this very bright, warm, cozy, functional room. As this was my first island and my main one, I rated my main room had access to a dresser, a Mario pipe, and a crafting bench so that I could always get what I needed right away. Off to the left side is the den/library room. This one I love so much. It's so cozy and warm. I love this kind of vintage red floral wallpaper, lined with bookcases. You've got comfy floor pillows and a fireplace and the shade rug. It all comes together just to create a perfect little space I would love to sit and read in all day. Now we'll go into the back room. Which is the bathroom. I love how this space turned out really neutral and bright and light with all the white tiling on the wall. I definitely saw the jail bars being used by someone else in conjunction with a shower, so that was definitely inspiration I took from the community, and I love how it pairs with the double sinks and the beautiful clapper tubbing being, and the little touches of green in this just make it a bathroom I would love to have in my house. Next up is the right side room. And here we have what I'm calling the solarium. So this is a very plant-filled room using the archway wallpaper, which obviously creates a lot of light and a lot of window effects in the room. So just filling it with plants. Of course, there's a couple books in here and a comfy place to just sit and relax. Now we'll venture upstairs. Which is my main bedroom. This room has a very classic, warm, cozy feel, like much of the island does. I really love the antique furniture set, so you can see quite a few of those items being used here. The fireplace adds a really luxurious moment in this large bedroom. And then on the left side we have a desk and then a little bit of a kind of a closet wardrobe area. So I liked being able to use that divider to kind of segment those spaces and create clear, functional spaces within the room. And lastly, we're heading down to the basement. And this room definitely has a little bit of a different tone shift. It's a lot lighter and has this kind of purple and pink hue to it. But this basement is definitely like my middle school self's slumber party dream room. You've got this big, beautiful couch. You've got comfy rugs on the floor. You've got a big TV. There's pillows all over. You've got the desk in the corner where you and your friends are kind of having fun on the internet or playing computer games late into the night. There's music, there's books. It's a very, it's kind of like a family room or an entertainment basement, and I just love how cozy and warm it is, and I love the little hints of pink that make this space feel very warm. So that'll do it for the interior of the first home. And we'll keep moving along here with the rest of the island. Back behind my house is a garden area. So once again, this is before 2.0, so we had no crops. But I actually really like how this garden turned out because it's black and white and very neutral and flower based. And so maybe I wouldn't even put crops there now if I redid this island. And in the back we have this little greenhouse moment with the custom leaded glass coat I made that we looked at earlier. And even further to the right here, you can see this backside cliff looks over to the hidden beach, which we'll go look at later. And the last little build we have back here is this stargazing area. So, once again, more blankets, more Zen cushions, and I love how the moon item looks kind of just floating in this area next to the telescope in a spot to sit and stargaze. Moving along to the left, we have this, we'll call it tea party moment. We've got these low tables set over this big, large blanket. We've got donuts, we've got coffee, we've got fresh flowers. So this is just a nice little gathering spot to sit with friends. And behind this area, you get a little sneak peek, is the fruit orchard. So we go down the steps and to the right. And we've got a little fruit orchard where I have all the different fruits, and they're each sectioned off into their own little spots. Here's our second resident, Connor. And each little clump of fruit trees has their own couple items styling to create a bit of a color story around each fruit. In the middle, of course, is a blanket and a cushion to sit on. A little bit of a waterscaping moment back here as well. It's not the most functional orchard with some of the trees elevated onto these cliff sides, but I like how it adds a lot of visual interest to the space. And then hidden back here is the secret beach, kept very simple with just some music and candles. At night, this is a really sweet little spot illuminated by these candles looking out at the vast ocean. So we backtracked a little bit to get back to the next area, and this is the neighborhood. So 8 out of the 10 residents live in this neighborhood area, as you can see on the map here. It's a very symmetrical, organized setup. Everybody has flowers, a fence, and a tree in their front yard. Once again, this was before the Happy Home Paradise DLC, so these villager homes are not customized. I worked very hard to find villagers that had neutral colored exteriors and ideally were sort of neutral colored themselves. But as we know, this was a lot more difficult before the update, so I'm pretty happy with where we landed. There's a sweet little fountain and park bench moment in the middle here. And to the right side, it looks off into the orchard. Moving along, we've got a little bit of a clothesline situation, and then this staircase leads to the second resident home on the island. And this whole area back here I imagined as sort of an entertainment complex of the island. So outside here you can see we have a nice little community fire pit. And down on the beach we have some binoculars to look out at the ocean, a little lounge space, and an outdoor movie screen. There's a place to park your bikes, come to the outdoor cafe seating. And then as we go into the second home, you'll see that each room is stylized as a different kind of entertainment venue or a different type of business that you might go to enjoy your time. And the main room, as you can see, is a cafe. It's got a very light, bright, airy feel with the white and turquoise coloring. Overall, just a nice, sweet little coffee shop. Alright, and from here we'll look at the next room. Which is a gaming store. So me and my friends like to play Dungeons and Dragons, and there's lots of shops that cater to these sorts of hobbies, and that's what this room is modeled after. So you can see the bookshelves and the record boxes kind of make up shelves with maybe games and books and all sorts of supplies you might need related to tabletop gaming. There's a table in progress with the game of Dungeons and Dragons, so if you're familiar, we've got the laptop, we've got books, we've got notes, we've got a timer, and my favorite thing is the magazine is customized to the, I think it's the music setting, and it looks so much like a page from the D&D manual. Moving into the back room, here we're getting really off theme of the island. This is a secret fight club in the back of the entertainment center. This room definitely has a lot more energy and a little bit different personality than the rest of the island, but it was pretty fun to create, so I have no problem with that. You can see there's a fight ring, there's lots of spectators, even a safe to kind of maybe hint at the backroom nature of this fighting operation we have. And the right room is a movie theater. So this room is kind of small, so everything's smushed together, but I think it still captures the exact feeling of being in a nice fancy movie theater with the curtain walling, the big screen, the spotlights, and the concession stands, all represented in this kind of small microcosm of a classic movie theater. Moving into the top floor, we have a bar. And not just any bar, but a dive bar. So this is definitely one of those more rundown local places where you're not going as a tourist, you're going because you live in that area and you know people, and you want a good drink, and you want to have a nice casual night. So really capturing that dive bar aesthetic here. The popcorn machine, the microwave behind the bar, the dartboard, the ping pong, the stuffed fish on the walls. And now we'll move into the last room of this house, the basement, which is another bar, but this one has a much different feeling to it. This is more of a classy underground, maybe like a jazz bar or something. You can see it's very dark and moody with luxurious finishes. And on the left side there's a stage here with a saxophone or guitar microphone, so this is somewhere where you might come to see some live music. It's nice and atmospheric. And with that, we'll move on back to the outside of the island. Going up the staircase here, we'll backtrack through the neighborhood just a little bit. And going over the bridge here, we come to the museum. You can see there's kind of a double bridge back to the neighborhood that brackets each side of the museum. And in front of the museum we have this nice rock garden with a sculpture moment. It's very elegant and symmetrical. So I like how this area is kind of nestled in between these two cliff sides. It feels very quiet and secluded up here. And if we come along this little bit of a winding path moment, it leads us back to that little central corridor and the reading island as we looked at before. So coming back this way, airport, resident services once again. And you can see that that area we were just in with the museum is tucked behind resident services here up on the cliff. So you can come up either staircase here to access this area. Moving down to the front, we have a little bit of waterscaping, and we have this sweet little area tucked beside the beaches where you can read, you can write. And moving down over to these beaches are the last two resident homes. We've got Flurry and Chief down here in their beachside bungalows. And then moving back to resident services, we'll go to the left side area. And here we have the glass conservatory. This is one of the last builds I did on Sunbeam, and I actually did it 2 or 3 months after I thought I had finished this island. This space had kind of been left open as a large field, and I saw some really awesome inspiration from another creator. I can't remember their name, but I think the island name was Sonder. And they have this beautiful, elegant glass conservatory, so I made this build and put my own spin on it, using the frozen arches and pillars to create this kind of glass-like structure. It's almost as if you go inside and you're in somewhat of a greenhouse or a conservatory. A couple more little spots on the beach here. And we'll explore the conservatory just a little bit more. Inside is a fountain and some greenery, and of course lots of beautiful marble tile. Take a little first-person view here of the conservatory. And then coming out of the backside, we have another sweet spot to sit on a blanket next to this waterfall terraforming that leads into the river mouth. Got one lily of the valley over there. This island is 5-star status. Looking over here at the beaches, we have some loungers, and on the peninsula we have the styling of the glass conservatory extended to create a little piano area with some tables where you can sit and listen to music. And just to give you a sense of where we are, if you go over this bridge, this is where we end up in the second residence area / entertainment complex of the island. Alright, and I think that is where we're ending the tour. I'm just going to check the map one more time to make sure we didn't miss any nooks or crannies. And it looks like we covered everything. So I just want to say thank you so much to anyone who watched this. I play Animal Crossing for myself, I create these islands for myself, but It's really fun to share what you create, and especially things you're proud of. So if you watched along today and you found anything in this island that you enjoyed as much as I do, I just want to thank you so much for joining me. And until next time, thank you.